dragon swoops towards the palace. But Valkyrie flies over to...
Judith! Judith, what are you doing here? Weren't you in Alexandria? Oh.
There's our variant.
So we're back in Asgard?
On the authority of the Timekeepers, I hereby arrest you for crimes against the sacred timeline. Reset it.
Judith? Oh my goodness, they're arresting poor Judith. What did she do? What crimes did little Judith commit?
Next case.
Oh, there we go.
Next case.
Wait, was that our Sylvie? Or did that just happen, or was that the past? I guess that was, where is she? Is she meeting the Timekeepers? Hey! So was that our little Sylvie that we saw? I guess I got thrown off by like the really black hair because she's blonde now. But I guess, you know, hair dye exists.
The Timekeepers are all that stand between us and full-scale calamity.
And I'm glad they're on our side. I need access to Honor C-20.
I'm sorry, but that's impossible.
I need to find out what that meant and what else she saw when she was with the variant.
Investigate this, Mobius.
She's dead. Yes.
What?
They killed her because she knew. Oh, that's right. That poor arc blew up. Because then police were trying too damn hard. Y'all were worried about stopping people from getting on that or hunting down Loki and Sylvie to the point that you missed your own opportunity. But granted, they would have died if they were on the arc. But granted, they're going to die here too, so. No one likes to try hard.
I remember Asgard. Not much, but I remember my home, my people, my life. The universe wants to break free, so it manifests chaos, like me being born the goddess of mischief. And as soon as that created a big enough detour from the sacred timeline.
Oh, so her being born a woman wasn't a variation.
Everywhere and every when I went caused a nexus event, until eventually I figured out where to hide. So that's where I grew up, the ends of 1,000 worlds.
Shit, that is traumatizing.
That's where I'll die.
God damn. Having to like surround yourself with people who are panicking that they're about to die every single time. Always on edge, always seeing the end of life and what that looks like constantly over and over. Oof.
You were just a child when the TVA took you, but you nearly took down the organization that claims to govern the order of time. You did it on your own. You ran rings around them. You're amazing.
Oh. Oh. Oh, we're touching.
Temporal lock.
Wait, I thought they're in an apocalypse, so they can't create... Bullshit. I thought when they're in apocalypse, nothing they do could affect the outcome. Because everyone here is already gonna die. Oh. Well, never managed to find them. I mean... out of the frying pan, out of the fire and wait, how does it go? Out of the frying pan and into the fire, or out of the fire into the frying pan? At least you're not in an apocalypse, but now you're stuck here.
All right, it's ready. What is this? You'll see.
Oh, why is this one red?
The TVA is lying to you.
Yes! Plant another nugget.
Put him in.
Go searching, Mobius. Please, please believe him.
What?
Where are we?
You.
Sif! Oh, girl, who did that hack job?
You did this!
Oh.
I hope you know you deserve to be alone, and you always will be.
Well, shit. She went straight for the jugular. But granted, he really did fuck up her hair.
Mobius? Did Loki say anything while you were in there?
Yeah. So the TVA's lying to me.
Just doing my job.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't let anyone know you're onto them. Figure it out, but figure it out quietly.
Seth, please, no more.
They done broke
Please,
that man.
I beg you. I'm a horrible person.
Got that boy on his knees.
I'm a narcissist.
Oh, look at that. His nuts must be bruised.
You are alone.
Oh, shit.
And you always will be.
Damn. That's gotta hurt than any of the nut crunches he just got. Or maybe it just equally hurts.
How long have you been working for the variant?
Me? Working for her? Please.
Okay, so if you're not working for the variant, what is it? Your partners?
Absolutely not. Difficult and irritating, and she tries to hit me all the time.
Oh.
No. Not partners, no.
Y'all, does Loki have feelings?
Something very, very big is going to happen. And when it does, I'll dispose of her.
Well, we saved you the trouble there. She's already been pruned. So,
Ooh.
Hang on, what did you just say?
Y'all saw his reaction? Oh my god, Loki. He's gone. This boy's gone.
fire off a thank you note to Hunter B-15.
He's dying on the
because it looks
inside.
like you're the...
Boy, is that tears in his eyes?
Makes a horse race.
Yeah, is Loki crying? Look at him.
Good riddance.
That's a girl who's not going to be okay. Not going to be fine. Look at him. Even Mobius is just
So funny.
It's laughing how hard. It's hilarious how hard you're trying.
Two variants of the same being, especially you, forming this kind of sick, twisted romantic relationship, that's pure chaos. That could break reality.
Oh, is that what caused it?
Is she alive? For now.
Holy shit, Loki. Loki's in love.
Our interests are aligned.
Overthrowing the timekeepers.
Maybe they need to be overthrown.
I had a box your ear. Now, you've already told me about 50 lies in the past 10 minutes.
I'm not lying this time.
This time. That's the problem with liars. It's hard to believe them.
You're all variants!
There we go.
Everyone who works at the TVA. The timekeepers didn't create you, they kidnapped you from the timeline.
Yes, be
And
upfront.
erased your memory. Maybe you had a family. A life.
Mobius. He's believing it. Look at him. He's believing it. Look at him thinking. Look at the wheels turning. He wants it to be true.
Nice try.
Oh, that's great acting. The wonder and the curiosity and the hope.
Good. You two, what a pair. Gosh. Unbelievable.
And now the denial. It's like they swapped places. He was in denial, then he became honest, then he slid into denial. That was a great scene. Great actors. They have really good chemistry and they play off each other well.
All the liars in this place, and there are a great many. You're the biggest.
Why? Because I lied about your girlfriend?
Oh no, that I can respect. I mean the lies you tell yourself.
That was actually really great acting, how him absorbing the information and then kindling the curiosity, and then the way he slid into denial and like they swapped places because Loki was just in a place of denying his own burgeoning feelings for Sylvie. Oh my god, that was great acting and great character writing for both of them. It's interesting. I feel like they spent like the first few episodes building up plot and the intrigue and the mystery, and now we're like getting into the character. Not to say that it wasn't there in the beginning, but it's now amping up even more. Like last episode and now this episode, we're really just cracking up in their characters and giving them great moments. Oh,
when did you first notice what was going on with C20?
stop pushing.
What is going on with you?
She's gonna find out.
Mission accomplished.
Great, mission accomplished. It was just
He's you know the song "Don't Be Suspicious." Don't be. Mobius never heard it.
When you were in my head, I saw something.
What did you do to me?
I showed you your life before the TVA.
That's a trick. It's a deception.
No, it's not.
I was created by the Timekeeper.
Oh, that's right.
The Timekeepers took your lives from you.
Show me.
Ooh, cool.
I looked happy.
Oh. Oh my god, that was heartbreaking. I looked happy. What a heartbreaking line. Past tense shit. We must liberate all of our TVA workers. Free them! Damn. They really done killed her.
Calm down, I'm a variant. So are you. So is every single person in this place. I'm ending this.
Red-handed. Red-handed. She's like when you get body cam footage and a cop comes into view and they're like, shit, you got that shit on tape? Delete it.
What are you doing?
Passing the time.
Do you care about this variant?
Sylvie, I'm not sure if care is the right
Shut
word.
up.
I think we've covered this back in.
Shut up! Do you really think you deserve to be alone? Loki!
You told me to shut up.
You swear she didn't implant those memories in Hunter C-20?
Mobius, no, I believe her.
Oh, trust.
I just have to trust the word of two Lokis?
Oh, you know, because there's two of them, your odds might increase.
You can be whoever, whatever you want to be.
Aw.
Even someone good.
Oh, I can
Just
dream.
in case anyone ever told you different.
Aw, I can dream my own dreams. I can slay my own dragons or not. What
I think you have something of mine.
See, I knew that shit was gonna get your ass caught.
You know where I go if I could go anywhere? Wherever it is I'm really from.
Oh.
Yeah, wherever I had a life before the TVA came along. That's what I'd like to do.
Oh
Like riding around on my jet ski.
Prune him.
Oh my god, that was so fat. You didn't even hesitate. Goddamn, girl. I mean, we love
Wait
a
for me at the
ruthless bitch,
elevator.
but damn, not that ruthless.
You okay?
Aww.
What do you want to say to me, Variant?
What was my Nexus event?
I don't remember.
A, she's a cunt. B, Sylvie fucked their shit up, girl. I hope she gets her revenge. Fuck these people. Fuck these people. Oh, Sylvie. That is a brutal ass line. I don't remember all of those.
Gracious timekeepers.
Yo, they
As
ugly
promised.
as shit.
After all your struggle, at last you've arrived before us.
Y'all talk creepy.
I think you're scared.
No, Variant, you're nothing but a cosmic disappointment.
Bitch, why y'all so
No, I'm
brutally
not done with you yet.
like, I don't remember cosmic disappointment. B15! Yes! Fight the power. Fight the power.
For all time.
That's right, B15.
Always.
Yeah. There we go. Oh. Wait. Let's not hurt B15, y'all. Fight! Yeah, fuck these timekeepers up. You know, I want to know more about them, so let's not kill them yet, but like, let's question them. Ooh. Please do not get distracted by love, sir. There we go. Our two badass Lokis.
We can talk.
Oh yeah?
Shut up. Oh. Wait, what? Are timekeepers robots? Then who's controlling them and making them talk?
We will figure this out.
How do you know that?
The power of love.
Well, back on Lamentis.
Y'all.
This is new for me.
This boy is lost in the sauce. And it's just hilarious because she's just a variation of himself, and he's a variation of her. This is... What? Oh my god, this bitch. I want you gone. Please kill her. Kill her, Sylvie.
You're gonna tell me everything.
I'm sorry. Can you imagine having the audacity to say don't? I'd smack the shit out of you. Oh, well, maybe it's a good thing I listened to the song. Mobius? Mobius is there then.
Oh, I did?
Not yet. But you will be unless you come with us.
Bitch? What the? I'm sorry, what? Are those other Lokis they pruned? So at least this is confirmation that if you get pruned, you don't die. Here I thought they'd die. Well, how about that? How about that? We can find Mobius then, and we can link up. Okay, everyone, so that was episode 4, the Nexus event, and our little Lokis are, well, at least we know one of our Lokis are like falling in love. Well, he's falling in love, and it's so cute. And I guess maybe it's the fact that they're variants of the same individual that are falling in love, and that's why it's spiked abnormally, and it allowed because the theory was that in an apocalypse you can do anything because everything's already going to end, so there's no deviations you can make in the timeline that would affect anything going forward. But I guess the match of two, I don't know if it's specifically because they're Lokis or if it's just the fact that they're variations of the same individual, or there's a third option, it's because it's both. It's both because they're Lokis. It's because they're Lokis and because they're variants of the same person, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe like a variant of Tony Stark. Like they fall in love because he's definitely I think right up the narcissist or like self-indulgent type, that he's like the most likely other person I can think of who would do something like this. But yes, I am curious if it's because it's the same person or if it's because it's specifically a Loki. But either way, that connection is so, I don't know, like chaotic, as Mobius put it, that it would affect, like, that connection and what could be born out of it would have affected how the sacred timeline, like, it would have branched into another timeline, which makes me very curious if, I wonder if a new timeline's being formed, if that connection is so powerful that it's creating a new rip in or a side, like a piece, like a deviation in this timeline, in this course that this planet Lamentis is supposed to take. I am curious if something would have happened, something random would have happened that would have allowed them to escape Lamentis, or like I wonder if what was random that allowed them to escape Lamentis was the TVA coming to get them, and that was another deviation in the timeline. Like them leaving Lamentis was in fact a deviation. That would be so trippy that them interfering was technically still, like, I wonder if the line like went back after they left and and time went the way it was always supposed to, and Lamentis got destroyed. It's so, time travel is always, or anything to do with alternate timelines, it's always so, out there because there's so many theories and so many angles you can approach it, and so it's so easy to get lost in the little finer details. But I am curious of whether or not the deviation from how things are supposed to go was them getting picked up, or if that was supposed to happen. Like they were supposed to connect on Lamentis, and then they were supposed to get picked up, and that actually, and the deviation in that timeline would have been them staying. But if the timeline alters or is altering, then that would have to have included Lamentis not dying. So it does make me like, what if they, both of them, were to travel to different apocalypses, like end of world calamities, and with them just being there, would that be enough to create an alternate timeline or a branch off the timeline where this planet survives? It's a very curious thing, and I'm gonna stop talking about it now because there's been like 5 minutes or something talking about it. So let me like go further into the story. You have a beautiful moment where Sylvie shows B-15 her life on the sacred timeline, is what I'm assuming. Like they're from it. I had a theory in the last episode where I thought maybe they were like after the multiversal war, the timekeepers, which we'll get into them fraudulent assholes, but because they were all assholes, right? It's not just me. Like these timekeepers and Ravonna, they were all just act like their asshole meter was turned up for no good reason either. Like there's one thing, you can be judicious and not a dick, but they're just dicks. Anyways, that beautiful moment where Sylvie's showing B-15 her life on the sacred timeline, and just that one line, I looked happy. Like, was just so heartbreaking. And it really does circle back to Mobius, who I think Owen Wilson did a really beautiful job in that scene where he's told that he's a variant, but it does circle back to Mobius and his sort of resignation, his willful resignation and his willful acceptance into this is like, life is great. He doesn't allow himself to think about what else there could be or what more there could be. And I think on one level he does that because he knows he'll never be able to have that jet ski. Like Loki finds the jet ski pamphlet on his, or the magazine on his desk, and you can tell there's a part of him that's longing for more, but he denies it from himself because he knows it's not part of what he can have. And so he creates this delusion. As Loki said, he lies to himself a lot in order to pretend that he's okay with the life that he's living and he's fine with it. And then you have B-15 saying, I looked happy, like in past tense, sort of implying that now she's not happy. And one would argue no one probably is happy living here. And that's a huge reason as to why their memories are erased and why they're sort of brainwashed, or not even brainwashed, but well, yeah, brainwashed, because their memories have been altered against their will and knowledge and consent. Well, that's will, but it prevents them from like wanting more or hoping for more or dreaming for more. They're kind of stuck in this belief that for all time, always, like that's their manifesto, that's their cause, that's their purpose, and their purpose is greater than anything or anyone, and they have to stay true to it. And that kind of brainwashing and cult like rhetoric can really keep someone from dreaming and hoping for more. But that moment of B-15 and that moment of Mobius when Loki's just describing to him all of the things he could have had and probably did have on the sacred timeline, and you see the wonder and the curiosity in Mobius's eyes, and it's just a beautiful moment of acting. And then you can see the, like, him saying that sounds too good to be true, and you see the resignation in it. Like, you, like, I want to go back and watch it. It's such it's beautiful eye acting from Owen Wilson, where you see the hope and the glimmer in his eyes, and it's so light. It's a very light facial change, but you see it. It's not so subtle that you can't clock it, but it's not so over the top that it cringes you. Like, it's like, oh, that's over the top acting. But it's so nuanced. and you can see him absorbing the information, and you can see a hope and a curiosity and wonder, like, what if that is true? And if it is, that sounds beautiful. But then you immediately see, like, that just sounds too good to be true, right? Like, that's the feeling I got. And there's a resignation that he's probably practiced so much. Like, I just can't have that jet ski like that. Like, there's a resignation that he's probably so practiced in doing, and it's habitual, that anytime this desire of hope and family and just like riding a jet ski. I like that it's something so random like a jet ski that sort of becomes a symbol for something outside of the TVA. But that's what, to me, the jet ski kind of represents. But I think he's probably practiced in shutting down that hope and just kind of longing from a magazine. And then when Loki presents to him this theory, this hypothesis that maybe, just maybe, this is what you had out there, and maybe it's still there, but it's just too good to be true. And he shuts it down, and then he slides into a space of denial and accusing Loki. And it's so interesting because we just came off the heel of Loki's denial, and then we get later on Mobius's acceptance in another scene without Loki. But it was just a beautiful transition of acting and reversal of spaces of like space of minds they were in. Like, we got Loki going into denial about his feelings about Sylvie, and then trying to keep it up as Mobius is digging into him, and then he breaks and he admits, you know, his fear of something happening to Sylvie. It's an admittance to his care for her, and sort of a denouncement of all the lies he just told 2 minutes ago. Like, with just that one burst of emotion, is she alive? He essentially killed every narrative and every lie he told. Such a beautiful acting, beautiful writing. Just, oh, I love it. I love character moments. They'll always get me. And not to say that I will choose character developments or intimate character scenes over like heavy plot progression, because I think if the narrative, the greater narrative, or the plot that moves a story, or the characters are moving the plot, whichever, as long as it's interesting and engaging, which it has been these past few episodes, where I think the mystery of the TVA and the mystery of variance and the mystery of just time and this multiversal war, I think the mystery surrounding that and delving into that has been, for me, the highlight. And now in this episode was, I think, the first time where the characters were far more intriguing than the plot. If you get what I'm saying, like, yeah, the timekeepers are robots, but I'm like, well, that just means someone's behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz style. Like, I think that was probably our biggest like question mark, as well as like what was Sylvie's Nexus event, which we'll probably learn at some point. But I feel like the bigger plot points for the first time in the series just weren't as interesting or grabbed me at the same way the character scenes did. All of this was beautiful. And then I think Loki, part of what gets Loki into a space is just going through the Sif scene where he confronts someone in his past. And it was great to see Sif again. She wasn't in Ragnarok. So seeing, right? No, she wasn't. She wasn't in Ragnarok. So getting a chance to see her again is really, really, really lovely. I know there's another Thor movie, so I wonder if she'll be in there. But yes, just going through the hijinks of what... You know, it's strange because he asks a question, and the first few episodes were really devoted to what makes a Loki a Loki. And I think we've gotten different answers along the way in this. It's like a really exploration of the character of Loki, and how, like, you know how they say you throw a pebble into a river or a rock into a river, and if it's big enough, it can create like a fork in the stream. And I think this show, in terms of character, has been really taking one singular character and is throwing a rock in it. And what would these two characters, who are essentially the same person, look like if there was a fundamental change in them, if their environment was changed? In this case, sex was changed. And maybe Loki being a boy in some strange way is why they kept him from being adopted. I have no idea if that makes any sense, but sometimes the way parents will interact or what age we think is appropriate to tell our children, sometimes that has a lot to do with our child's sex, what we think they can handle, what they think they can't handle. And then I think maybe that was the deviation, like her being, like she says, I was born the goddess of chaos. And so I think maybe that change is probably what led to her being told she was adopted. And you know, it's just these little theories about, you know, what happens when you throw a stone into a river and see which way it goes now. And I think that's what the show is exploring in one character. You take Loki and you throw a stone and see what else you get. I mean, we saw Loki's at the end of this episode. So I am wondering if we're going to see more, like if we throw more stones into the Loki. And I wonder if these would be variants because they're pruned Lokis. Oh, good Lord. I wonder if there's more. And we're going to have Mobius there. C20 is probably going to be there as well. I'm excited to see what Sylvie does with Ravonna, as well as now that we know that timekeepers are like little fraudulent reptilian robotic creatures. I don't fucking know. That is hilarious, actually. But I am sort of excited that they're not, like, I don't know. When you get the reveal of what they look like, I will admit part of me was a little let down because they just seem so up there, like grandiose, and there's a part of me that would want our timekeepers to be not so, what's the word, you know how sometimes big reveals hit more when the I don't know how to put it. I know what I'm feeling. I just don't know how to articulate it right now, which is very strange for me because usually I can articulate my feelings pretty well. But I'm glad it wasn't these robotic lizards sitting on a high seat looking down on them. These weren't the keepers of our time. I would prefer our timekeepers to be someone who you can sit across from or sit on a couch from and have a conversation and actually be able to see the humanity in this person or people, whichever, because they say plural, but I don't know if that's just a front because the man behind the curtain was just one person, but the talking head was just one person too, so who the fuck knows. But I would love for our timekeepers to be in like an entity that you can sit down and have a conversation with rather than some different species, reptilian, weird looking thing. It's like something familiar, and we can learn more about what this multiversal war was, the cost of it, why this person chose to do what they did, take people off the timeline. I would love to have a conflict where it's fucked up that this has happened to them and I'm rooting for a revolt, but there's a part of me that wants to empathize with the other side and understand that maybe how can I put it? The alternative was far worse. And I think this multiversal war is like they said, this sacred timeline that they are protecting at all cost is what prevents this is the only path that we can take as, I don't know what you would call it, as a universe, I guess, that prevents an entire war of multiverses and a collision and calamity and chaos and reality being ripped open. I feel like that is a justifiable reason for doing pretty shady shit. But I would want, you know, I would want I want an emotional connection to these timekeepers and to empathize with why they did what they did. I wouldn't, like I said, I'm kind of happy that the timekeepers are fraudulent because from the moment I saw them, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a letdown. I didn't want them to be like some alien formed deity godly thing. I want you to be like, talk to me one-on-one and tell me about the cost of this multiversal war, the humanity, the wars, the cruelty that this everything that we have at the TVA, Sylvie losing her entire family, her entire world, living in apocalypses, so traumatized. I don't want to get into Sylvie's character next, but give me something so palpable and traumatizing and make the stakes real that justifies all of the stuff that we've seen, the cruelty of erasing entire people and taking the TVA workers from their own lives to maintain this. Give me something that makes that worth it. And so I'm kind of happy with this reveal that they're not, like, the robots are fraudulent, because I want that connection. Sylvie, the reveal of Sylvie essentially getting taken from her bedroom it took me a while to put together that with Sylvie, but it's still heartbreaking because she was just playing in her room like a normal day, and then all of a sudden her life is just ripped apart, and she does manage to escape. But escape to what? She never had. She was a child, and she goes into one world, and because she's not supposed to be there, she gets caught immediately, or they come after her immediately, and she has to run and run and run, and just that life of never feeling stability, constantly moving, and then finally finding, maybe she like jumped to a planet that was on the verge of destruction or was about to enter an apocalyptic time period. And so she realized that the TVA wasn't coming after her here. But then when the planet went up, maybe she's like, okay, I gotta jump, and ended up on a planet that wasn't apocalyptic, and they came for her. And then she ended up on and maybe she made the connection, and that's how she figured out apocalypses are where she needs to hide. But having to live in apocalypses over and over and over and over must be a mind fuck. Being surrounded by that level of fear, terror, hopelessness over and over and over and over for how many years? I have no idea, but that's what you told Loki. Like, that's what raised her. Calamity, chaos raised her. It became her. And so to hear everything she went through and to imagine that, and then to hear Ravonna say, I don't even remember, like, that is so cruel. She's so unnecessarily cruel. And Mobius, buddy, I get it, no guile whatsoever. Well, no, he does have guile. We've absolutely seen him utilize very creative ways of getting Loki to get to a place where he needs him to get to. So he's not without guile. So let me rephrase that. He has no guile with her. And that could be a combination of feelings and familiarity and just believing she would fucking never turn on me or do something cruel to me. But he kept asking questions, and the entire time I'm like, Mobius, stop. And he just kept going, and I've been talking for 20 minutes, so let me wrap this up. I want Sylvie to question the fuck out of Ravonna, and Loki and Mobius to link up in wherever the fuck they are. Like, where do you go when you go I was gonna say, where do you go when you go quiet? Where do you go when you get pruned? Like, and seeing, I think one of them was holding an alligator. I don't fucking know. Whatever. I'm just gonna get into the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you there. Take care, everyone. Oh, is this supposed to mean that the TVA is about to get turned upside down? Imagery. What the hell? What is this? Oh. Okay, this is where Loki. So this is where they end up when they get pruned?
This is the void, that's Goliath, and we're his lunch. Come on!
Goliath. Oh, it's not just some big ass cloud, bitch. What are you, Goliath? A mystery indeed.
Your whole reality's been destroyed. Tell me, How does it feel to be on the other side of it?
That get back must feel good. Oh, I like her hair like that.
Basically, the branch timeline isn't reset. It's transferred.
To where?
A void at the end of time.
End of time?
Nothing ever comes back from there. I can help you if you trust me.
I ain't trusting her. She pruned Mobius. The ability to trust went out the door the second she did that. But granted, Sylvie doesn't know that, and she doesn't know anything about their relationship. But I do not trust her, because how long had she known Mobius when she just pruned him like that? Regardless if he's still alive, because she just said nothing comes back from there.
I'd like to suggest we take a quick breather.
Does that fucking alligator have the horns on? Is he a Loki? Oh, he's so cute. Ooh, little purple thingies. It's like something out of Final Fantasy.
Please explain to me what the hell is going on?
Look.
Bitch, is that alligator? Oh, it has Loki horns.
New York. All I know is I got pruned, and I woke up here, and now I'm surrounded by variants of myself, plus an alligator, which I'm heartbroken to report I didn't even find all that strange.
We're done talking. Let's go. Just do what you want, I guess.
Huh. Follow them. Honey, just follow them.
Okay, wait.
Yes. This fucking alligator's killing me.
I'll command you.
You'll do well to respect the boy. This is his kingdom.
Right. What was your Nexus event, Your Majesty?
I killed Thor.
Oh. Sweet baby Jesus. Filicide. Oh my god. He looks disturbed, like there really was a version of me that didn't, huh? Damn. He low-key thought he would never. Like, Thanos. Well, he dead, right? He whatever the hell that is, he ain't popping up, right? Please tell me not to see that purple ball sack here. Oh, underground. That makes sense. Oh, his hammer. Oh, what the fuck was that? Was that Thor in a jar? I saw a red cape.
You leave your glorious purpose there.
Is the alligator walking in the back? Look at it! I can't get over this fucking alligator, y'all. Look at it go! A candy cane thrown? He is a child.
What about the end of time?
It's impossible. There's nothing for the Tempad to lock onto. No destination.
Then we go through it.
Do we trust her?
What about the Void spacecraft?
Yes, the prototype.
Great. I'll get the file.
It could conceivably take us to the end of time.
Find Loki.
Find the man behind the curtain.
And kill him.
Sylvie, I don't trust it. Good.
Miss Minutes, where are the files on this time craft?
Still looking, hun.
Uh-huh. They a lie.
Go.
Oh shit, they are calling for backup. Damn.
I'm fine, but she took my Tempad. You come out with your hands up, and I'll put you in a time loop. Something not so bad. You can
She
live out
gotta
your
die.
days
She's
in a
so
good memory.
annoying.
Do you have any good memories?
Probably. Girl, what the fuck? What do you think? This woman's been put through hell since her childhood. Oh. Okay. Clever.
In my timeline, everything proceeded correctly my entire life until Thanos attacked our ship.
So you didn't try to stab him?
Certainly not.
Goodness.
I cast a projection of myself, so real, even the mad Titan believed it.
Okay then.
And hid as inanimate debris.
How did the TVA find you?
I got lonely. To tell you the truth, I missed my brother. Forgot about casts.
So they really are just meant to be the rung on someone else's ladder.
I'm going.
That is depressing
Out of
as
space,
shit.
out of the void, back to the TVA. We may be good at surviving.
Loki said, I'll be damned if I'm somebody's rung. I'm not meant to be stepped on.
Now you said Goliath is what keeps us here. Well, if it lives, it dies. So I'm gonna kill the shark. I'm gonna kill Goliath.
They ain't gonna help you. They're terrified of Goliath. That terror is built in at this point. Yeah. Look at them. They're comfy in their waiting pool and makeshift chairs.
Yeah.
Run around. But don't worry, Sylvie's out there. Mobius is out there. Maybe you can't relate to your previous selves, but don't worry. Your bromies and homies are out there. You just gotta find them and not get killed by Goliath in the process. What the fuck?
Oh. Hello. Which one of us are you?
Shut it. I'm gonna just shut that shit. Yes. I'm gonna grab the handle and just shut that shit back. I'm assuming she's where Loki's at. The end of time. They still do show that something. Holy shit. It kind of reminds me of the smoke monster from Lost. Ooh. What was that? What was that? What was that? I know y'all saw it too. Is that Mobius? It is, ain't it? Loki for
I've eaten both. They die just the same.
Oh,
apologies, my liege. I betrayed you, and now I'm king.
What the fuck?
You can't be serious.
Come on. What did you expect?
That was not the bargain. I gave you our location in exchange for shelter.
Are all these Lokis just betraying each other? It's the end of time. What the hell?
Witted, half-faced scrubs. We had a deal.
Loki's like, I can't believe this is me. I gotta go.
Why the hell is there an alligator in here?
That's you. Oh. Oh, bitch. A violent one, too. God damn. Oh. He's like, I taste good, bitch. Oh, yes. Protect our little alligator, Loki.
Animals. Animals! We lie and we cheat. We cut the throats of every person who trusts us, and for what?
Aww. You'll be happy.
Sylvie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
He's like, bye, losers.
What happened? You okay? Mobius. How did you...
We thought you could do with some backup. I think the person we're after is beyond the void at the end of time. And if they are, that thing is just their guard dog.
Is that what we saw in Goliath when she used her, like, magic?
Guard dog.
I'm going to enchant it.
That's insane, right?
As insane as what? Paper cutting a giant cloud to death.
Really don't remember him.
I think TVA had arrested a lot of Lokis, but no, I don't remember an alligator.
Oh my god. What are they waiting on? Are we waiting for something?
In the final moments, you won't betray me.
Listen, Sylvie, I betrayed everyone who ever loved me. I know what I did. And that's not who I am anymore. I won't let you down.
Is this a self-actualized Loki?
You sure?
Is he fully realized and evolved now?
There might be a timeline for you to rule.
And then I'd finally be happy. What about you? What will you do when this is all over?
She ain't got no clue.
Maybe we could figure it out together.
Maybe.
sounds ominous. Aww.
Looks like you got away in the end.
I always do.
Well, see you later, Loki.
Hug. Huggles, not just a handshake. Give me a Huggles. Yeah! Yeah! Look, he's got a friend. A friend and a girlfriend.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes! Huggles!
You're my favorite.
Oh. Okay, y'all doing a lot of standing around. Is that just me? A lot of standing around and a lot of posing. Let's get to work. Enchant this bitch. Oh, something just happened. Oh. Oh. I guess he's our distraction. Got it. Got it. Don't die, Loki. Ooh. Okay. Lightbringer. I'm with it. Run, move, do something. What is that? Oh, look, no. Oh, wow. Hey now. I mean, he did say he created, oh, it's Asgard he created. He said he created an illusion so good that or a projection that was so realistic. It was capable of fooling Thanos. There we go. Nobody dies he. No, he won't die. Please no. Damn. Okay, Mr. Old Man Loki. Oh, he's loving this. It must be so liberating to like finally take on Goliath after all this time of hiding from him. Oh shit. Oh, please don't die. I like you. You're probably like my favorite Loki. Well, no, the alligator's my favorite Loki. You're second. Oh shit. Enchant him faster, please, and save him. Aww. Rock out, G. Alright, OG. I respect it. I hate it for you, but I respect it. Oh, there we go. Is it gone? Oh, just disappeared. Is that what she saw? Okay then. There we go. Oh, so pretty lights. Okay, so I guess we're gonna meet our timekeepers. Okay, so that was episode 5, and I'm debating whether or not to be brutally honest about this episode. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Those last 15 minutes felt like there was a quota about how much time they had to reach. So they were just having a lot of awkward pauses, awkward silence, weird posing with grand music and wind and nothing really happening. And it's like, can we get going? Because it'd be one thing if it was like these were like character moments, but they were just kind of standing there posing, wind, looking like, oh, and nothing happening. And a little cheesy, little cringe, not a lot going on. And it just felt like we were putting in random, like we were extending scenes because it had to reach a certain amount of time. So it just made the pacing feel awkward, and I was just waiting around for something to happen. And that scene where they're all like sitting around, like you had the Loki sitting together with Mobius, and then Sylvie and Loki share a moment touching, but it was like, what are we doing? Like, are we just sitting around taking a break to get some like little character development before we go off on our mission? It felt awkward. Like the first 30 minutes of the episode were great. They were perfect. I loved the B-15 scene with Renslayer, and I think there was a lot of honesty in that she did not know about these robots being fakes. And there was a part of me, because she was like, lying with Miss Minutes and whatever, that made me think, oh no, she's in on it too. Like, she's fully apprised of everything. But that her conversation with B-15 and the way she read Renslayer just made me feel like, oh, okay, no, she really is in the dark about like, she knows more than everyone else, but she's still not quite looped in, and she wants to know as well. So there's just a lot of change happening at the TVA, and Mobius is going back there too. So that will be very interesting to when he like pops back up with Renslayer, and maybe he frees B-15 and maybe they take over. Maybe they arrest her and they take over the TVA. But yeah, I really like that scene. And speaking of Miss Minutes and Sylvie and Renslayer, the end of time and the theory about the void and what lies beyond it, I hope we get more about what the end of time is, because it's like, so there's if time stops, one would imagine life itself has no, because if time stops, all life would too, right? Like, if time no longer, because it's interesting. Time is a very interesting thing because it doesn't really exist. Like, time is just something that humans have definitely come up with in order to keep track of everything, because it's a concept more than something objective that we can pinpoint, like 6:30 or 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 13 or 14 o'clock. Like, these things that we've assigned is just kind of based off of the sun going, right? It's the sun going around the earth, but there is no like it's a system we've created to track the movement of time, movement of the sun. But time, the end of time, I would imagine that means the end of life, right? Like, life has ceased, because life can cease, but time can keep going. Like, let's just say all life on Earth was wiped out. That doesn't mean time stops. It keeps going. Like, life is gone, but time doesn't have to stop. But if time stops, life would stop as well. The end of time, and there's a void beyond it. This is such an interesting concept that I'm like, what is it? What is the end of time? Like, what would that be like? But either way, the Miss Minutes and that whole conversation that they have with Sylvie, it does really pose those questions about, which I'm imagining will get answered when we go to this creepy house in this like Aurora Borealis looking place. Like, it's so, like, I love the colors at the top of the castle is what I'm calling it, the mansion, the castle, whatever it is. But I can't wait to get in there and hopefully meet our timekeepers and really get what the multiversal war was like, because that's how this all started. Like, TVA was born out of this calamity, and I want to know how things were reordered and how we got here. Like, I want to connect to it. And then seeing all of our Lokis, I think that kind of like last episode was really talking about throwing the proverbial stone into the river and seeing how it branches off and what it can create. And I think this episode really gave us those deviations. But ultimately, I think what it was saying is the river, I think the river for some Lokis goes out into the same place. Like, how can I put it? Like, one fork empties into one area and another one empties out into another. Because it seems to me like self-actualization and change and becoming better is just not in the cards for a Loki. Like, your purpose in this universe is to just be a tool for someone else's growth. You are not meant to grow beyond a certain point, because it's not about your growth. It's about what you can do for others. And there is something very depressing to that reality. And I do think at the end, when our older Loki was sacrificing himself, he smiled and he approached it with such joy. And I think it is a combination of him, like, all this time running from life and finally getting to face him. And also, it's over. Like, you don't have to live with the brutal reality of knowing that this is as high as you go. This is as far as you go. Someone else has dictated that you were not meant to become better or to change. Like the evolution of what a person goes through is not what you were meant to do, and someone is actively stopping you and controlling you. And if you try to change, if you try to do something different for yourself or better yourself beyond the scope of what you had to be in the story, ixnay on your ass. And that is, like I said, it's depressing. And I do think it's a combination of finally defeating Alioth, feeling of use, and then also being free of that very tragic reality that I think a lot of Lokis live. I am very curious to where our Lokis go, our Loki and our Sylvie, and just what their place is in the universe if they are now stepping beyond. Well, I think Sylvie has certainly, more than Loki, has stepped beyond what she was supposed to be. I don't think she even played that role that we saw Loki play in the first Thor for like Thor, and then Avengers, like what he does for the Avengers and helping them like reach their superhero potential. We don't even get to, she never even went through that. Like that was completely not part of her story. So she was never even a rung on someone else's ladder of evolution. So she's completely veered off that path. So it really does make me wonder, like, what is there for her now? Like if they make it to the other side of this, where do they fit? Because if they step outside the bounds of an apocalypse or the TVA, like where time doesn't exist, or the end of time where it doesn't branch either, these three places, apocalypse is the end of time and TVA is really the only three places they can exist. Maybe I'm trying to think of something that there's an after for them, because do Nexus events and calamity stop just because they destroy the TVA? I think the TVA, regardless of, if they destroy the TVA, you really do open up I would imagine it leads to another multiversal war, right? Because that was the point of it existing. Like, it's to prevent something worse from happening. It is and I hate the concept, but a necessary evil per se. I don't really jive with the necessary evil concept in life, but in this case, I think the concepts that the MCU is now delving into and really has always delved into are like these grand things, these fantastical elements that I guess you can say the TVA is a necessary evil, and it prevents so much more, like billions of lives being hurt or touched, and that this erasure of entire civilizations, entire timelines, entire families, ripping them apart. I mean, it, like Mobius said, the ends justify the means, and I do hope that coming into the finale, or the last episode of season 1 at least, we get an explanation, a really conflicting explanation that makes you feel like the TVA is necessary. I mean, we've watched it destroy and touch lives in very painful ways, and to take a character like Loki, who has always had potential but never realized it, and then just on the cusp of going into Thor Ragnarok, or I should say coming out of Thor Ragnarok, there's a lot of change there, but to know that that was as high as he could go, there is a tragedy to that. But he's only meant to go that high because of the alternative. If he goes any further, if he steps out those lines, something worse can happen. So it's like you're making a sacrifice, an unknowing sacrifice, a non-consenting sacrifice. And I just feel like if the TVA is erasing all of these lives, all of these people, all of these civilizations to prevent the like reality, I hope we get to see like just what does it look like to see reality rip apart. Like what would actually happen? Because for me, I can't really picture what it means to have timelines go to war with each other. I don't get that. It's very I don't, because we've seen the erasing of life that the TVA does, and so it's a lot. Like, they've probably taken out billions at this point. So is it just you're destroying billions to save billions, or are you, like, is it a trade-off? Like, it's an equal thing? Or is the multiversal war that much more, like, the scales tip, and the alternative of the TVA taking as many lives as the multiversal war would take, like, or like, I'm like, if you can say, like, is this way that has been continuing on as long as, I don't know, the MCU has existed for us, if this has been going on in the background, is this a far favorable plan or path than the multiversal war? Like, is that much worse? If you get what I'm saying, like, is it like this path that we're on? They've taken billions of lives to defend billions of lives, or is it not even the protection of billions of lives and just timelines and the way that things are? I need to see this multiversal war and get a good idea of what timelines warring and reality breaking apart looks like. Like, I need to know what that looks like in order for me to kind of conceptualize whether or not I agree that the TVA is a necessary evil. But regardless, I feel like this episode, not my favorite, probably my least favorite, just because those last 10 minutes were really drawn out for some strange reason. I felt like there was a lot of posing and wind and grand music and nothing happening, and it was like, something happened, please. And it just felt very anticlimactic, and it kind of soured me those last 10 minutes. Like you never want to end a show or end anything on a bad note. Like, I'd rather you start off bad and then pick up steam than start off with really good steam and trend that way for a good portion of the episode and then just flatline for me. And unfortunately it did, and that's just me being brutally honest. It flatlined towards the end, but hopefully we pick up steam going into episode 6. Thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and we are going to get into the finale, and I'll see you there. Take care, everyone. Hey!
Way to go, Tic Tac!
That's how you punch.
Wakanda forever!
Now, you wouldn't have heard of me.
Let me put you on hold.
Dance off, bro!
For us.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
We have a hot
We're gonna jump on that spaceship and get out of here.
No,
Wanna come?
it's you.
I don't know how to feel about them doing this. Oh my god. Are they about to rewrite time? Oh my god. Holy shit, that was incredible. Okay, that opening, that just got me. That just got me. That got me. I'm fully here. I mean, I was always here, but holy shit, that opening was incredible. Oh my god, that terrifies me, the fact that we heard all these quotes from all of the movies that we've seen. Are we about to rewrite our character stories this far? Like, what is happening? Huh? Ain't no kicking down or knocking. They're inviting you in. I like the little cracks all throughout the castle, mansion, whatever the hell this thing is. I'm gonna call you a castle. You look very castle-like.
Hey, y'all!
Jesus Christ!
Y'all had an awfully long journey to get here. He's impressed.
So is Miss Minutes?
Who's
Was she
impressed?
lying to Renslayer?
He who remains. And he's worked it out so we can reinsert both of y'all back into the timeline in a way that won't disrupt things. You want the Infinity Gauntlet? Yours.
She
Throne of
lied.
Asgard?
She lied last time.
No problem.
Sylvie, she lied to you before. Punt that bitch.
2 Lokis in the same place.
Both of us, together on the timeline. We write our own destiny now.
Oh, sure you do. Good luck with that.
Bitch. Fuck Miss Minutes. You're no longer adorable. Oh.
I love you. Through the fire.
Not this guy.
You're just a man.
Flesh and blood. Don't tell me I'm a disappointment.
No, just a little bit easier to kill.
Oh shit. Well, that smell ain't creepy at all. I had no idea he was in the Loki series. I just know he lost his job.
Well, you're not going to be happy to see me.
Ooh.
He's back.
I have a bone to pick with you.
I couldn't let you get in the way of our mission.
Mission?
Our?
Timekeepers are fake. We're all variants. What mission?
It can't have been for nothing. That's why I had to prune you.
Secure the perimeter.
I got it. What?
What the hell is going on here?
Judge Renslayer.
Oh.
Who are you?
They're showing.
That isn't Judge Renslayer.
They're showing them that they're variants. Clever. Let them see it to believe it.
I'm not sure you quite understand the situation. You've lost. We found you.
Duh. Of course you did. You can't kill me because I already know what's going to happen.
Oh, shit.
Politics. Okay. Don't you wonder how I'm able to get out of the way just before you kill me?
No, it's because of that little tempad you have there.
Right. Everything you guys did on Lamentus, I saw. All the stuff the TVA didn't know about, I knew. All the scheming. Every step you took to get here. Lamentus, the Void. I paved the road.
Okay, so he didn't write it. He just
walked down it.
Okay. So he's not like a script
I have
writer.
the rest.
Got it.
Right here.
But he can maneuver certain things in certain directions. So they're variants, but they were always meant to exist. And make it this way. Like variants who are meant to exist in a way.
I think people are ready to hear a little truth now. You know, like the TVA's a lie.
But what if it's a necessary one? I have to believe they had a reason. I looked out for you. Hung my neck out for you. And you suffer a crisis of faith and turn to those variants?
You're a variant too.
Please, Mobius. Even with that, you're of no danger to me.
Is that what you think?
Oh. Oh. No, she just meant you can't defeat her.
Yep, you're right. Where are you gonna go?
In search of free will.
What? So she wants to be the one in charge? Oh, she's gonna okay, she's gonna go searching for the only one who's allowed to have free will.
Without the me, without the TVA, everything burns.
And what are you so afraid of?
Me.
And just who are you?
I've been dubbed many names by many people. A conqueror, he who remains, a jerk. Eons ago.
Oh.
Before the TVA, a variant of myself lived on Earth in the 31st century. Discovered that there were universes stacked on top of his own. At the same time, other versions of us were learning the same thing. Not every version of me was so pure of heart.
Oh shit.
New worlds meant only one thing: new lands to be conquered.
So you're saying your ass is the problem. So maybe you need to hunt down every version of you, your entire bloodline, and snuff you out. Have we tried that?
And then the timekeepers came along and saved us all.
No, this is where we diverge from the dogma. I weaponized Goliath, and I ended the multiversal war. All I have to do is manage the flow of time and prevent any further branches, hence the TVA. The efficient bureaucracy, hence ages and ages of cosmic harmony, hence. You're welcome.
You're welcome for what? Your existence is the problem.
It works.
Or you're a liar.
I don't think he's lying, strangely enough.
There's two options. One, kill me and destroy all this, and you don't just have one devil, you have an infinite amount. Or you two run the thing.
The TVA? I don't see Sylvie ever going for that.
Buddy, I'm tired.
Tired? You talk like you just drank 50 Red Bulls.
I've gone through a lot of scenarios, trying to find the right person to take this spot, and it turns out that person came in too. So, no more lies. You kill me, and the sacred timeline is complete.
I gotta pause, because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because ain't no way Sylvie's down for it. But I mean, he does say either you kill me, but is there a version of Sylvie that would say yes? But there is no other version of Sylvie, right? Sylvie's just Sylvie? Like, Sylvie is a variation of a Loki. I'm so confused right now because he says it's these two, these particular variants, but given their circumstances, particularly Sylvie's circumstances, she would never say yes to it. So how can he say it's you two that have to take over? Like, it's either you have two options, either you kill me or you, like, it's definitely you two that would have to take over. I just can't fathom an explanation that Sylvie or Sylvie could swallow that would allow her to take over this, given everything she's been through. So is he lying? I feel like he's telling truths and lies, because I just don't see her going for it. Loki, maybe, because he doesn't have the emotional connection of most likely centuries of living the way Sylvie has. He's emotionally not invested or scarred as much as Sylvie is. Like, yeah, he did get popped the second he ended up in what, Cambodia, was it? Tunisia? I forgot where he ended up, but in episode 1. So yes, he was touched by the TVA, but nowhere near to the extent that Sylvie was. So this is an emotional journey for her, a pain for her. And I'm a play, but I don't believe him when he says you two can take over, because he said it's these two variants that came out. That was the alternative that can take over and release him from this. Me no buy it. I don't buy it. I can't buy it, because what version of Sylvie would never go for it. There's a part of me that thinks he's telling the truth. Like, I believe his story completely. I just don't believe what his intentions are. Like, his whole like he's looking for them to take over.
We just crossed the threshold.
¿Cómo estás? What is the threshold?
So I fibbed. I knew everything up to a certain point, and that point was about 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds ago.
Oh, so he doesn't actually know whether or not.
But now I have no idea. No idea how the rest of this is going to go.
Okay, well that makes more sense, because I'm like, ain't no way Sylvie would say yes. He was just assuming, because these two make it here. He was just okay, because I'm like,
feels like a fresh start.
I'm so like uncertain about what's about to happen here. It's so rare. Usually I can like get a good feel. Oh my god.
What are you doing?
Sylvie, hang on a moment. Let's just talk about it.
Well, how about we finish what we started?
He's so excited seeing things he's never seen before.
I believe him.
You believe what? That a bazillion boogeymen are going to turn up just because we give people free will? He's a liar,
Kinda.
So am I. And I don't think he was lying.
I think he is a liar, but...
Remove the dictator and what fills the void?
Ah. You want the throne.
Oh.
What was I thinking, trusting you?
Shit.
Has this whole thing been a con?
Really?
No.
That's what you think of me?
God damn.
Sure, why not?
I mean, I get why she's doing
master
it.
plan comes together. Well, you never trusted me, did you? What was the point? Yeah, then our experience.
No, she
Why
can't see it
the same way.
Yeah, she can't.
Because you
She
can't
can't see
trust.
it. She doesn't have the capacity to see it.
Then I guess
Damn.
So we wait.
2 Lokis.
Wait.
And that big ass rock just thrown into the river and created 2 very similar yet different people. Damn. Damn. He's just observing this, not knowing what the fuck is happening.
The cost of getting this wrong is too great.
Fine. Do it! Kill me! Take your throne!
No.
Shit. This man loves his hair flips. Oh.
Sylvie, stop.
Ooh.
Stop.
Look at him. This is like watching live unscripted TV for him.
I've been where you are. I've felt what you feel. Don't ask me how I know. I don't want to hurt you.
Aww.
I don't want a throne.
This is so refreshing to see from him.
I just want you to be okay.
Oh, Loki. He has to be like the most evolved Loki that's ever lived. Aww. This man in the background, like, oh wow.
But I'm not you.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Aren't you gonna beg for your life?
No, because like he just said, he thinks he'll come back, and he probably will.
See you soon.
Okay, that see you soon, and just the way everything played out from the moment he said he fibbed and that he didn't know what was going to happen from that moment forward completely changed my feelings towards him. The second he admitted that he lied and he didn't know what happened, it's like, okay, now I believe him so much more.
This unit alone?
Does he want us to just let them all branch?
Well, at this point, how are we even going to stop it?
We can't!
What?
countless different versions of a very dangerous person, and they're all set on war. We need to prepare.
Take it easy. You're an analyst, right? What division are you from?
Holy shit. The TVA did get affected by his death. Oh. So does he rule the TVA now? So is he there? Does he exist at the TVA? Do they know who he is? Can they tell us about? Oh my god. This episode was so weird, but in a good way. So that was the last episode of the first season of Loki. There's just so many confusing aspects, and I don't say that in a bad way, because clearly it's supposed to be confusing. Time travel and timelines are always confusing in any show or any movie that tackles it. It's always a little like, what are the rules? Like, what's going on here? But yeah, seeing He Who Remains and just, I don't know, there was a part of me that's like, he's lying the entire time, especially when he said it's like it was meant to be you two. But I'm like, Sylvie would never say yes to this. And then he admits that he fibbed and that he didn't know what comes after a certain point. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, he was lying, because I'm like, he was just, or not necessarily lying, but just assuming that those were the two options. Like, maybe he assumed that they would take over, because the alternative is that they kill him and this all starts over. Not necessarily all over again, but it does lead to a multiversal war that has, you know, it's interesting because he doesn't know what happens next, but he does seem so confident that it will end with him back there in the Citadel, is what I believe Miss Minutes called it. Even though, okay, here's why I don't think he's right about all of it. I don't think it ends with him back there, because the first multiversal war started for a completely different reason, and the TVA didn't exist. There are different players to it now. So now that we're moving beyond the end of time and things are now being written further, well, not written, but played out differently without his approval or his direction, or as he say, he paved the path for you all to walk on it. Without him there, it does seem a bit of a stretch to me that it ends with him back. Like, I guess he's just assuming, like, he assumed that Loki and Sylvie would be the ones to take over, or that they could take over, but he was just assuming that because he didn't know really what happened after a certain point. And maybe he's just assuming because of how intelligent all versions of him are and how persistent, or that he was born out of all of, like he knows himself. I'm assuming he's just assuming that this all ends with me right back here, but he doesn't know that for sure. I don't think there is a way for him to know that for sure, because, like he said, the multiverse will start it because one version of him figured out that he was learning the same thing at the same exact time, but in a different timeline. And those two started interacting, and then other versions of him figured out the same thing, and then they all started interacting. And eventually one decided to conquer a different timeline, and then it just led to all-out war between different timelines, and it became this multiversal war. That's just different than what we're getting here. Maybe he is the one spearheading the calamity, like all of these branches that are forming. It does make me wonder if, because I just don't know enough to really theorize further than he clearly exists still. Like, there's another version of him out there beyond what. I'm so curious if there were any other versions of him. If you get what I'm saying, like at that same time, like while he was at the Citadel, was there another version of him living his life? I'm so confused. Anyways, let's talk about Sylvie and Loki, because they're less confusing. He Who Remains, very. Those two not. I understand why Sylvie did what she did. I don't think she's right. I don't think she's wrong. I can understand why she refused to give in, because that was probably the one thing she held on to, justifying her decision to keep living. Not like, imagine you're living in apocalypses over and over and over and over. It's like, what's the point? Why not just call it a day? Why not just do that? Because there's no hope here. There's nothing better. You're not aspiring to anything. You're barely living life. You have no friends because everyone's gonna die. Why live this kind of destitute, depressing, tragic life? And there's no other alternative. Like, there's no out. This is it. But she decided to hunt the TVA down, to destroy and kill the timekeepers. That probably kept her going through all of that, through all of those moments of doubt. So when you imagine what kept her going through, honestly, it's like, why even bother living if this is the life you're now forced to live? And then he's sitting right there, smug, weird, arrogant, flamboyant, gregarious, just larger than life. And then you just imagine your own pain compared to the man who's being so calloused about it. And then Loki, someone she allowed herself to trust, or like her one good moment, as you know, she kind of implied to Renslayer, and he's not seeing things the way she is. And I think that was always something I believed thoroughly very early on in the series, that you can have someone have the same nature. Like, two people can be born, live the same exact, like, you can, like, it's like why siblings or twins turn out different. Like, you can live the same parents, same household, live the same experiences, same environment, same nurturing, but you're completely different people. Or not completely, but there are differences. And I think those differences really have to do with our nature. There is an inclination of who we naturally are. And so looking at these variants, it's like the stone that's being thrown isn't their nature, because that's always going to be the same. It's their nurturing that is vastly different, or not that, or like just maybe one thing is like turned, or you can have 1,000 things that are different. But ultimately, the reason why they couldn't see things the same way is because their nurturings were completely different. Sylvie pretty much had no nurturing, and what nurturing she did have was chaos and destruction, mistrust, distrust, paranoia, fear, tragedy. Like, that was her nurturing. So I can see why she refused to back down, why she relented in her frustration. And as for Loki, it was refreshing to see him be so honest, and to be able to love and admit to love, and wanting that love to just be okay, not necessarily from a selfish place, but from a selfless place. It's interesting because from the first episode, we're pretty much told that Loki's really only exists to be this one thing, and that's to help realize other people's hero journey, like to be an obstacle and an incentive to better our heroes, like Tony, Steve, Natasha, Clint, like all of them from the New York battle. But to see him essentially defy that, like, he's grown so much through the course of this show. And it really started with having to proverbially break him down, like having him bear witness to his life and how it was supposed to go, and Mobius just going at him. And then that was the first episode. And then 3 episodes later to the 4th, you sort of have another breaking of him, and then and then having his own experience, like the first episode and then the 4th episode. So like the first and then the halfway point, he goes through this like breaking down process that allows him to evolve, strangely enough. And it's like he is the first Loki, or not the first, because I think well, yeah, the first Loki who's kind of defied what his lot in life is meant to be, which is, in my opinion, there's a cap to how much a Loki can grow. And too much growth and too much self-actualization is just like, no, you're not meant to have that, and they snuff you out. And I feel like it's actually really beautiful in a way to see him defy that. Like, he's grown in ways that I think the path that he was supposed to walk, well, even as I'm saying that, this version of him was supposed to grow that way, because he was supposed to make it there. Like, he paved the path. These two variants were not meant to be pruned. They were always meant to make their way there. So them, like, the events that that's actually kind of sad once again. Like, they really don't have free will. I think in a way they do, and in a way they don't. It's like how I said it in the beginning of the show. You have free will in the moment. Like, your choices are your own up here, but there's someone above you paving the path. And, you know, I think on some level, if you're religious, there are a lot of religions that kind of like that's part of it. Like, your path is already written, but your choices are your own. But everything you do is already known and dictated. And so there's a level of accountability that exists for you, but no real choice, because this is who you were always meant to be. This is the path you were always meant to walk. And I'm pretty sure there's a concept, like a name for that out there. I just don't know it. But I do know that that kind of thinking or those theories exist in quite a few religions, where your choices, like, if you get to, like, you're making your own choices without someone telling you to, but there's a greater thing out there that has already approved that choice in a way. So it's like you have free will, but you don't. Like really you don't. But technically you do. Like, on a micro level, you have free will, but on a macro, you sure shit don't. And so even as I'm talking about Loki and how far he's come throughout the series, it's like he was meant to, though. Like, He Who Remains paved that path for him. Speaking of He Who Remains, I don't know when his whole legal trouble started. I've only seen clips of him looking goofy and stupid as hell, like stopping people, kids from fighting randomly, and like getting on stage and crying like a idiot. Like, I've just seen stupidity surrounding this man on my Twitter. Like, he comes off a bit of as a joke. So I know he got fired, like he lost his job from Marvel. And I remember seeing something of like him comparing himself to Robert Downey Jr., which I think is two very different situations. that comparison was just ridiculous to me. But like, just to speak outside of the show about the actor, because I know he's no longer part of Marvel, I don't know when he got canned or if we'll see him again, but I am very curious as to how Marvel will go forward, because I don't know if he was recasted or if they cut the character, but regardless, child, the entire time he's on screen, I'm just thinking about the ridiculous shit I've seen this man do on Twitter. Anyways, Loki was like, I think he had such great chemistry with Mobius, the character. They had some really beautiful scenes throughout the show, and I think him and Mobius really had my favorite scenes. I hope we get to, like, I know the Mobius we have now doesn't remember him, but I hope he does later on. I'm pretty sure there'll be a moment where he remembers him, and it'll be beautiful, because like, I like that connection. It feels like a paternal one and an older, like, it's like / paternal / uncle, like that uncle that looks out for you, or a paternal figure. But I really love that relationship, and I want to get more of it in the next season. I don't know where the next season falls. I know Black Widow's up next, but Loki as a series, I really do love the plot points. It's like expanding the MCU. And beyond that expansion, it really expanded Loki's character. And I can't wait to see where Loki goes. And then, like, I really hope him and Thor. Can you imagine this Loki and Thor? Oh my God, give it to me. That's the thing I want the most now. I want to see Loki and Thor reunite. Is Thor still around? Like, now I'm thinking about it. Is Chris Hemsworth still doing Thor? Like, don't answer those questions for me, because I am curious as to like how long these actors will continue to do the show. I know it wasn't recent, maybe a month ago, that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is incredible. Like that, I like that they brought him back. My sister said they only brought him back because they're tanking and they need someone to save them. That's what she said, because like I think I said it a long time ago. My sister's like, she was a huge Marvel junkie, and then she became a huge Disney hater. Anything Disney related she hates. Like, she actively hates on, so I don't even go to her about like Marvel stuff, because she'll immediately start shitting on it. But Tony is back, and I'm assuming he's probably back linked to this multiversal thing. Like, now that the timeline is like free in a way, and everything is like branching out, it probably does lead to cameos again. Like, maybe we can, because I know we shut the door on Steve, Tony, and Natasha. I think those are the three like really main Avengers that we said goodbye to. But if we could get, like, I know we got Tony back. I know Natasha has like the Black Widow coming up. I know Chris Hemsworth still does Thor. I am curious about like what characters are still around now. Like, I know they're expanding, but who's still left in the MCU? Because it's just, we let go of our original Avengers, and we're now trudging into something new. And we do have familiar faces, but I am really, now that I'm thinking about it, is it another Avengers movie that Robert Downey Jr. is doing? Like, he's coming back for the next, because we haven't had an Avengers movie since Endgame. So it would be so cool if we somehow got all of them back. But child, that might be too much money, because I think Robert Downey Jr., I think I saw some tweet saying he got a shit ton of money for the role, so maybe they can't even afford to bring them all back. Somebody's gonna have to get a pay cut. Like, someone take one for the team like they do in the NBA. Well, no, they don't really do that in the NBA anymore, do they? But regardless, I would love to see all of them together some way, somehow. And I feel like the timeline branching out or like being freed allows that. Like, hearing all of their voices at the beginning was like, can we do it? Can we find a way to bring them all back? Like, that'd be so fun. I would love to see all of them back together. Like, I know we're moving on from them, but at the same time, they're like your OGs. Like, I didn't even watch the Marvel thing. Like, when it, like, I think the first time I ever watched an Avengers or a Marvel movie was when I was in high school, and it was like standardized testing. And because we were seniors, we didn't have to take it. So they just put us in the auditorium and they put the Avengers movie up. And that was the first time I ever saw anything. And even though I never watched, like, as the MCU unfolded throughout time, like all through these years, I still saw them all over my Twitter feed. I still saw like commercials and promos and everybody talking about it. So it was always around me. I just never got into it. But it's still so nostalgic, even though I never watched. Like, I feel like it's weird. Like, it was part of pop culture for so long that bringing them back would be really, really fun. But we gotta have the budget for it. But I do think this opens it up, and I hope they go down that road. I know they already got Robert Downey Jr. back, but let's get the rest back. Let's get the band back together. Anyways, I really enjoyed Loki. I feel like it was very much an expansion of the world of the MCU, and I theorized that pretty early on, and I'm glad that like my theory was confirmed. We're really expanding the MCU. I feel like Thanos expanded in terms of like species and race and planets, and now the Loki series is really expanding. It's like we're going through another expansion in terms of the multiverse. I'm trying to think about it in comparison to WandaVision and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Did I love Loki as much as I loved those series? I still think WandaVision was my favorite. And then Falcon, then Loki. I think, yeah, it's like WandaVision first, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then Loki. Like, I think that's my order. Like, the order I've watched them in is the order I've enjoyed them in. If you're gonna say like 1, 2, 3. I don't think any of them are necessarily better than the other in terms of writing and creativity. Well, I would say WandaVision is the strongest in terms of creativity, because holy shit, WandaVision was just the sitcoms and the reveals that like remained alone. And then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier just felt like really warmth. Like there was a lot of warmth in the character of Sam. And then in this series, I would say this series, the feel I get is not otherworldly, but expansion. That's the word that I really associate the Loki series with. So I'd say the first WandaVision would probably be like creativity, tragedy is the first, like those are the words that come into mind when I think about WandaVision. Great character writing, like that's what I associate it with. And then the second one, just warmth, and I really tip my hat to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier for giving Sam Wilson's character a series to like settle into the role of Captain America, because we've had a Captain America for so long and now he's becoming something else. You give the character a series to settle into that rather than just shooting him into a whole new movie. So I associate that with like warmth and character exploration. And then we get Loki and I just get expansion. Like there's just so many concepts and plot points that are being presented to us. We also get a lot of good character writing for Loki as well. But my enjoyment for each one, I'd say WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki. I'm loving these series. The next one I think after Black Widow is What If? There's the What If series, there's the Hawkeye series. I feel like there's another series I'm forgetting. I don't have the Disney app open right now, so I don't know, but I think that's what's next. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching with me. I thoroughly enjoy these series. I really do love them. I think they bring different aspects. They're not all the same. They're not homogenous, and I enjoy that. I like that they take the characters that they deal with and lean into them and really crack them open and put them in varying situations that engage you, that make you think about this, like how will this impact the movies? Like they don't happen in a vacuum. Like I wonder how Wanda will then like return into the movie series. Like we left off with her in the cabin, then we have Sam becoming Captain America, and we know he'll go forward into his own movie, and then we have Loki delving into the multiverse, which will clearly touch every aspect of the MCU as a whole going forward. So all of these movies have great substance and great foundation for what they're going through next, and just on that alone they're great to me. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all for Black Widow, which I think I'll react to that in a few days. I can probably get into Black Widow soon. And thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everyone.